First thing, guys, I want to talk about is how are you going to complete the work? How are you going to see it? How are you going to be assessed? So we're going to be using something called PLATO, or it's also known as Edmentum. There's going to be the login information down at the very bottom of this page. But pretty much what it is, it's a PLATO technically was a credit recovery for so instead of people going to summer school, they can take PLATO usually during the school year as a class, and it helps them recover credits that they may have fallen behind on. So we're using that this summer in a condensed version. Now, normally PLATO is you can work as fast as you want, and if you finish fast, then you're good. But this time around, for the 12 days that you're going to have for the first session of summer school, so 5 days, 2 days. Each day you're going to have a specific assignment in Edmentum or PLATO. Okay, it's kind of the same thing, but you can't go on to the next day's work once you finish, so you can't work ahead. You can only do the assignment that is given to you that day. Now, technically, you can go back and do late work, but the goal is to finish that assignment that day. So whatever you're assigned that day, that is what you're supposed to work on. Now, there are 4 categories that you are going to be working on. There's called tutorials and modules, modules, which consists of tutorials and mastery tests. So that is going to be worth 50% of your grade. Then there are post tests, which are going to be at the end of each unit. I believe we're going to do 4 units, so you'll have 4 of those. That's going to be worth 20% of your grade. Then there are activities. Now, the activities are the only thing that I actually grade. So the mastery test and the post test, and then what you'll have be the end of the semester final, that all gets graded by the program. So the activities, there are 2 of those. I grade those. That's 20% of your grade. And at the very end of this last session, we'll have the end of the semester final. And that's worth 10%. So 50, 20, 20, 10, total of 100. Now, the way that PLATO works is you'll usually have the tutorial, which is kind of like a lesson that'll walk you through the new material. Then you have your mastery test after that tutorial. Now, the mastery test, you're going to be able to take at a maximum of 5 times. But here's the catch. If you don't do well on the mastery test, it gets locked. So after it gets locked, in order to unlock it, to take it again, you have to go through the tutorial, the whole thing again, right? So you can technically do it 5 times. So like if you got like a 40%, you're going to definitely want to redo that. But if you get like an 80% on the mastery test, it really is up to you if you want to retake it or if you just want to move on. Okay? Or if you're just happy with it, you'll be done with it for that day. So normally in the pacing guide, what's going to happen is you're going to have a tutorial and a mastery test in one day, or you're going to have a tutorial and a mastery test and maybe a post test. Okay, so maybe a lot in that one day. Maybe one day you'll only have an activity. Okay, so you got to think about what this is replacing. This is replacing summer school, which is technically 7:45 to 1, right? And that's a lot of information that we have to cover in 12 days of work. So please don't feel like you need to rush through this material, all right? I will be posting mini lessons 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And those mini lessons are going to help you do the work as far as maybe clarify some things that I might find confusing, maybe help you navigate through the PLATO platform, because there are some things that are a little bit of like you have to learn as you go, and I'm going to try to shorten that curve for you. But that's going to be so like you're not really turning anything in. The only thing that actually, like I said, I grade is the 2 activities. Everything else is going to be, and that's also through PLATO or Edmentum, right? So it's all going to be done through that platform. The one thing that's kind of tricky is you can't really see your grade in PLATO. You're going to be able to see your progress, like how much of the course you've finished. So what I'm going to be doing is every day after you guys complete your work, I'm going to be taking the scores that you got, and I'm going to be transferring them to Aries. So you'll be able to see exactly how you're doing. Now, you'll be able to see what you do individually on each thing, like each mastery test, you'll know how you did. But as far as an overall percentage, you can't really see that in PLATO. So you'll have to use Aries to check that out. Okay. I hope it's not too confusing. I'll be explaining this again on the first 2 days of the session. But pretty much all you need to know to sum it all up is you're going to be using something called Edmentum, which you'll be logging in through Clever. That I also have the link on the website for that. So you'll be doing all your work on that. There are 4 categories. There's modules, which include the tutorials and the mastery test. That's 50% of your grade. You have the post-test for each unit. That's 20% of your grade. You have the activities, which is 2 of those, 20% of your grade. And you have the end of the semester test, which is 10%. So 4 categories. Like I said, because the mastery test you can redo, we should be able to be in pretty good shape if you just take your time. If you rush through it, guys, it's going to take longer than if you just take your time. I'll be honest, because I teach PLATO during the year as well. And for the people that try to just rush through it and guess and figure it out, it takes them longer than if you just take your time and do it correct the first time. Okay? That's it. On to the next video.